Okay, hopefully this will be the last video I'm going to do here about involving Gary Yourofsky. But most of this last part is just my personal story, and then me reaching out to Gary Yourofsky. Okay, so me being disturbed about discovering that the possibility of bugs being in my food disturbed and disgusted me. Because I don't want to eat bugs. I do not want to eat bugs. I don't want to eat any dead animals at all. So I was avoiding all the animal products because I felt it was disgusting to eat uh, animals. So of course I'm not going to want to eat bugs either. So I was seeing these uh, videos and reading about different types of foods that it was termed infestation. Saying, oh, these foods are probably going to have bugs in them, or guaranteed to have bugs in them. So it was very frustrating and disturbing for me to find these things out. So I was thinking, well, I don't want to eat these bugs. So I don't want to eat this food because I'm reading how this food has bugs in it. So these are foods that are not animal products. That was my issue because I was already avoiding animal products. So the remainder of the foods I was eating, not are possibly going to have bugs in them. So I was eliminating certain things. So that became a problem for me. So uh, not only was I not eating any animal products, the remaining foods that were available, I was also eliminating even more. So at first I was thinking, I've heard of people eating low carb, which I related as no bread. So that was one thing I heard. Flour, wheat, about the possibility of bugs getting into the grains and being ground up with the flour. So that made me think, well, I don't want to eat anything that has flour in it. So because there might be bugs in it, because I don't want to eat bugs because that's disgusting. So I was avoiding anything that had wheat in it because I was thinking, well, I was connecting wheat with low carb, and I was thinking, well, there are people out there doing low carb, they're avoiding bread because I was equating because I'm thinking I've seen people uh, doing the low carb diet and uh, their uh, their sandwiches they don't have bread on it. So I was equating that with wheat. So I was thinking, well, I'll be okay. These other people they avoid bread, so I'll just avoid bread. Uh, but that wasn't the only thing I was avoiding. I was avoiding other uh, certain fruits and vegetables too because I was reading how there might be bugs in them. But I was getting to the point where like I was very limiting my diet, where I was not eating the right foods basically. And there were there were times where I had hunger pains. I was very, very hungry. I was not eating enough because I was like I had this fear of eating food that might have bugs in it. Kind of like paranoia, I suppose. But I was reacting to videos I saw that was saying, yes, there's bugs in this food, and things I would read explaining, yep, there's bugs in this infestation. So that was me trying to avoid the foods that might possibly have bugs in it. So I was struggling because I was eliminating too many foods. So yeah, I was definitely there were times where I was like, oh, so hungry because my options were so limited because I was too many foods I wasn't eating. But like if it was like just wheat, um, like I've heard even now like that wheat isn't that great for you anyway. Like I didn't know there were like all these other options. I wasn't like too knowledgeable about diet. I didn't research diet too much. I didn't realize there were all these other options like for grains. Like you don't even have to eat wheat to be healthy. Like I don't like some would say wheat isn't healthy for you anyway, but like I don't really eat that much wheat now. And you can get by without eating wheat for sure. And some people have issues with it. I think it's called celiac disease. Uh, but you can definitely get by without eating wheat if that's the only thing you want to cut out. But I was cutting out other things too. So I I made myself sick because I was cutting out too many things. And I don't want to get into too much detail with it because it's gross. But basically, I was having digestive problems. One way of putting it was my insides were hurting. So I had to go to the doctor. I had to go to the clinic, hospital. The hospital, I guess, was the hospital. Yeah. And they told me I had to get a colonoscopy, which is a very scary. It was a very scary experience. That the whole thing was a scary experience. It felt like a bad dream. I even made that point because the one of the women, uh, I don't know if she was a nurse or what her title was, but she was going through the procedure with me, the colonoscopy procedure, and they could tell I was very unhappy. And I was just like, I was very irritated. And I even said, this just feels like a bad dream. So I was very upset, I suppose. I just, it was bad. I was very nervous about the whole thing, reading about the procedure of the colonoscopy. Just scared about it. And I wanted the doctor to tell me why it happened to me. Why did I get to this in this condition, and like specifically like what types of foods I should be eating. I was worried that they would tell me that I need to eat animal products. That's I was worried about that. But they didn't say that. Um, they gave me like a piece of paper, and so I feel like if I wonder like I wondered like if I didn't specifically ask about what diet should I be having, how can I, because I wanted to prevent this from happening again. I didn't want to have to keep getting a colonoscopy. I didn't want my insides to be hurting. So I kind of feel like if I didn't question the doctor about my diet, like would they have told me? Would they have given me this information? Possibly. But the doctor told me was that uh, I should eat more fiber, foods that have more fiber, and they gave me a list of foods that have higher fiber, and so high fiber and lower fat. High fiber, low fat. That's the diet that I should be having if I want to avoid the having the condition where I need to go to a doctor and have a colonoscopy done. High fiber, low fat, which is what I'm doing now. Like I'm doing uh, way more low fat. I'm doing very low fat now, and I'm getting a good amount of fiber because I'm eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and grains and legumes. So I'm doing that now. So I should be okay now because I'm doing high fiber, low fat. Um, so the experience of the colonoscopy, that was very scary. I saw how some people would put up videos where they were still aware of what was going on during the procedure, and I did not want to be aware at all. I told them I wanted to be knocked out. I wanted to be asleep during the whole thing. So I got the worst part about the whole experience was getting the IV put in because I had never had an IV put in before, so I was scared about that. It did hurt. It definitely hurt having the needle, the IV put in for the drug that put me to sleep. So the nurse came in and did that, and they saw I was scared. And they were very kind, the nurse, so that was appreciated. So I was very scared about that, uh, the IV, but I was scared about the whole procedure of the colonoscopy too. Um, but it was great in a way that I just went to sleep. I woke up. It was over. There was no uh, pain at all. So that was appreciated. And other than that, other than the IV with the colonoscopy, the other bad part about it that you could consider was bad was the you have to take before the procedure, the night before, you have to take a laxative. It's like in a powder form. You drink it. You mix the powder with water. You drink the laxative. So going to the bathroom a few times because of the laxative. That was not a pleasant experience, but necessary for the colonoscopy. And so what happened was a polyp was removed from uh, the colon area inside me. So the polyp was removed, and after that, after the polyp was removed, they said I was fine. So that was a relief to recover from the colonoscopy experience. And hopefully I won't have that issue where my insides are hurting anymore. where it would require me to go in and have that colonoscopy. I've heard that it's good for people to have that procedure done just to make sure you're okay, though.